Hey everybody, it looks like we have lots of people here today, which is awesome. And let's get started. I am Tamsin German. I am a professor in the Department of Psychological and Brain Sciences. We sometimes lovingly refer to ourselves as Psych and Brain Sciences, or PBS for short. I will be presenting some of the awards later in the ceremony today. Before we get going with the official awards, I'm just going to make a few announcements about how things are going to work today. First of all, you can probably tell that your microphones and videos have been disabled. So while this allows you to go with or without pants, I know there are some of you, we won't be able to hear or see you applaud or cheer as our students are announced. So we're going to use a little applause soundbite instead, which will sound a little bit like this. There we go. No expense spared. I wanted to let you know as well that the ceremony is being recorded. We will be posting it on the Psych and Brain Sciences YouTube channel. The link is here on this slide, and we will post it in the chat as well so that you can copy it if you need to show this to other relatives or people who weren't able to make it along today. Regarding the chat box, it is open. Feel free to use it to write words of congratulations and celebration of the graduating seniors. With that, I will turn it over to Professor Michael Miller, who is the chair of Psych and Brain Sciences.
Great. Thank you, Tamsin. Welcome and hello. I'm honored and privileged to welcome you to this virtual ceremony to celebrate the achievements of our amazing undergraduate students. While we see much of the world returning to normalcy, we're still, as you can see, operating in a virtual environment. We would have loved to have done this in person and to have met all of you, but I'm glad that we can do this virtually because this is such an important event for all of us in the department, and we really look forward to this every year. Now on to our achievements. Just to highlight the scope of these achievements, you should know that we have almost 2,300 majors and pre-majors, 2,300. This weekend, we'll be conferring degrees to 459 graduating seniors with a Bachelor's of Arts in Psychology, a Bachelor's of Science in Psychological and Brain Sciences, or a Bachelor's of Science in Biopsychology. And out of those 459 graduating seniors, we're here to honor the outstanding achievements of these remarkable 125 students. Now, not to toot our own horn, but I honestly believe that we have the best experimental psychology department in the country. My colleagues are internationally recognized scholars and dedicated teachers. I've noticed that many of them are here today. They include elected members of the National Academy of Sciences and the American Academy of Arts and Sciences. The research that is being conducted here is cutting edge, leading the field in social psychology, cognitive neuroscience, educational psychology, neuropsychopharmacology, evolutionary psychology, and more. And the research includes an MRI scanner in the basement of our building, an optogenetics lab, a virtual reality lab, and much more. And we have many things to be proud of in our department, but the thing I think that we are most proud of is the achievement of our undergraduate students. And despite the huge number of students in our department, your sons and daughters, your brothers and sisters, your grandchildren, or your friends have really stood out in amazing ways. They have achieved outstanding academic success. They've raised their hands in class and asked insightful questions. They've come to our office hours or Zoom meetings and engaged in really thoughtful discussions. They've volunteered their time to help mentor other students. They've taken leadership roles in student groups and organizations, and they've helped those less fortunate in the community. And they've worked countless hours in our research labs, taken every opportunity to develop research skills and take an active part in the cutting edge research that we do here. These are students that we've come to know quite well. And frankly, we're in awe of them. and inspired by them. And you have so much to be proud of. But I also want to acknowledge the role that you've played in getting these students to this place over time, the sacrifices that you've made and the support that you continue to give them. From dropping them off on their first day of kindergarten with their lunchbox and eyes wide open, to all the chauffeuring around you did during elementary school, to soccer practices, to violin lessons, to math Super Bowl practices, to friends' houses, to during junior high school when they learned to perfect the eye roll. They may be wondering if they're ever going to get out of bed or able to find a job that doesn't involve using a cell phone. To watching them blossom in high school and start to form their own path in life. And to all the money and time and patience and angst that you expended to get them through college. You've done an amazing job raising these students, and I know how grateful they are to you for your love and support. So let's begin the awards with the Chairperson's Awards. The Chairperson's Awards is given to students who have provided service to the Department of Psychological and Brain Sciences over the years. There are 4 different categories for this award: Senior Peer Advisor, Transfer Student Ambassadors, and Officers of the Society of Undergraduate Psychologists, or SUP, and Psychi. Let's begin with the Senior Peer Advisor Award. Peer advisors are an integral part of our department. They're often the first person that a student interacts with when reaching out to our department. And they act as an extension of our staff advisors. They help to ensure that our students are progressing on time by providing course recommendations. They help students to navigate the intricacies of our PBS major and provide insight more generally on what life is like as a student at UCSB. The peer advisors also provide the PBS staff advisors with a valuable student perspective. This year, we have one senior peer advisor, Sarah Kaufman. Sarah has been an advisor in the department for 2 years, and we thank her for her service to advising within the department and wish her luck as she pursues school psychology at University of Washington this fall. Transfer student ambassadors are senior PBS transfer students. These students mentor and guide other transfer students in their first year at UCSB. Transfer student ambassadors commit to extensive training, taking a mentoring class in the spring of their junior year, and train over the summer with our advising office so that they can provide advice and a friendly face at our transfer orientations. Each transfer mentor has provided countless hours of service to the department, dedicated to the idea that all transfer students can be successful. This year, there are 9 transfer student ambassadors that we would like to recognize: Matthew Agazurian, Emily Donnan, Sarah Lavian, Leanne Masri, Skylar Mundy, Stephanie Murphy, Katrina Ostrander, Isabella Robbins, and Precious Ruvalcaba. Thank you for your service to helping the transfer students in PBS navigate our program requirements and the university. The Society of Undergraduate Psychologists, or SUP, began in 2017. It is almost 200 members strong. SUP's mission is to serve as a resource to all students interested in and currently pursuing psychology by fostering a social and academic community, developing professional skills, and helping students get involved in various research and volunteer opportunities. SUP hosts research talks with PBS professors and has a peer mentoring program called SUP Buddies. This year, SUP focused on offering access to clinical opportunities to promote safety, to stabilize our community, and to connect with one another during the pandemic, such as providing psychological first aid training, in collaboration with the Santa Barbara Response Network. The graduating officers of SUP have worked tirelessly for the organization this year to enhance the experience of all of our undergraduate students. This year, 4 of the officers are graduating, including Luisa Rosa, President, Karen Gonzalez, Transfer Chair, Grace Huang, Member Development Chair, and Lynn Vo, Social Media Chair. Please join me in congratulating and thanking these graduating officers of SUP for their service to the undergraduate students in Psych and Brain Sciences. I'm pleased to announce the recipients of the Chairperson's Award for the UCSB chapter of Psy-Chi. Psy-Chi is an international honor society in psychology that promotes excellence and scholarship in psychology. As an honor society, members are in the top 35% of the class, and the chapter inducted 90 new members this year. The officers organized workshops that focused on professional development, GRE preparation, and the ins and outs of applying to graduate school. For the first time, they also conducted a Psy-Chi-led research project under the direction of Miranda Laurie, Dr. Abada, and Dr. Kim, measuring UCSB's students' change in resilience and well-being after the participation in the UCSB Resilience Summit, sponsored by our department. This work was recently presented at the Western Psychological Association Conference. The graduating officers this year have provided unmeasurable service to the top students in our department. Thus, I am pleased to honor the following students with the Chairperson's Award. These students include Emily Lee, Co-President, Kat Wu, Co-President, Brianna Kamari, Secretary, Olivia Kier, Treasurer, Madison Hill, Co-Event Coordinator, Alexis Kumstat, Co-Event Coordinator, Tanya Mendoza, Social Media Coordinator, and Nick Barrett, Research and Grants Coordinator. Congratulations and thank you for your service to the students of Psychological and Brain Science Department. All students who have received a Chairperson's Award will be emailed a certificate of appreciation. Again, thank you so much for your service and work in helping to ensure that undergraduate students in PBS have every opportunity to excel within our program and beyond. I would now like to turn the ceremony back over to Professor Tamsin German, who will present the remaining of the PBS awards.
Hello again. I will be presenting the remaining awards, which include some very special individual awards, as well as some awards for students who have completed honors theses and earned exceptional GPAs. The first individual award that I will be announcing is the Philip S. Rethis Memorial Award. The Rethis family established this award in memory of Philip Stephen Rethis, who was awarded a posthumous psychology BA in June of 1997. Philip overcame a severe disability and illness to pursue his studies and worked actively in our department's undergraduate research programs. This award is thus given to a graduating senior who has overcome hardships in order to complete their degree. The Rethis Award is presented to one student in the PBS department that has shown excellence in character, determination, and scholarship throughout their time in the program. The winner of this year's Stephen S. Rethis Memorial Award is Bernadette Dardane. Bernadette is graduating with a Bachelor of Science in Biopsychology. She was nominated for this award by Dr. Hongbo Yu because she exemplifies each of the qualities required for the recipient of the Rethis Award. She has excelled in scholarship, earning a 3.48 overall GPA, and has been a research assistant in Dr. Yu's Emotion Science Lab since spring of 2020. In this position, Bernadette helped to develop an online questionnaire that required sophisticated programming skills. She said that her greatest accomplishment at UCSB was working on and receiving the TSRA, that is the Transfer Student Research Award, a grant that goes to run a study on intergroup morality and compassion with the help and mentorship of Dr. Yu. One of the reasons that Bernadette is receiving this award is because of the challenges that she has faced as a transfer student into UCSB. Her dedication to her education began before arriving here. She drove 2 hours between 2 community colleges so she could complete her prerequisites to enter UCSB, all while working 2 jobs. Not long after she became a student in our department, the pandemic happened and Bernadette had to move back home to work at her parents' small family business. She continued to excel academically and in her research activities, all while supporting herself, paying her own tuition with the help of UCSB scholarships, and by working as a tutor. Bernadette also gives back to her community. She volunteers as a youth sports coach. She worked with an app development company, Night Coders, with the approval of the San Diego County Office of Education to create an app which provides skills and resources to underprivileged students in high schools across California to help them prepare for their college and career life. We might want to be leery of Bernadette's coding skills, though. She attends hackathons as a hobby and has won several of them. It's probably why my internet keeps dropping out, so keep that under control. Bernadette will be applying for PhD programs in clinical psychology. We know she will be successful and we wish her all the best. Bernadette will be receiving a certificate of recognition and a $500 Amazon gift card. Congratulations, Bernadette. The next award is Distinction in the Major. This is an award that is presented to students who have completed an honors thesis and thus qualify to graduate with distinction. An honors thesis involves conceptualizing a research idea, collecting and analyzing data, writing up the results as a full-length research manuscript. We have 43 students this year who gained distinction in the major. These are Paige Belcher, Matthew Batashur, Anna Bobricki, Melissa Canas, Mia Curtis, Molly Dalzio, Pierre Derbier, Lindsay Dickerson, Michaela Dorr, Zoe Eddy, Emily Elrod, Jasmine Fang, A.
Tamsin, you just cut out a little bit. So can you go back to, can you start over on this slide?
Certainly. Jenny Gibson, Nikita Gupta, James Hahn, Joyce Hay. Jessamy Johnson, Justine Johnson-Yachek, Alana Costetta, Sarah Kaufman, Spencer Quitt, Emily Lay, Jennifer Lay, Sishan Lee, Reina Mendonça, Emma Mechette, Maggie Miller, Rachel Machizuki, Michael Osfeld, Naomi Pierce, Elizabeth Aridna, Christina Rosa, Luisa Rosa, Dylan Riddell, Saeed Sajil, Vedika Shrida, Alexandra Strum, Surya Swarup, Alyssa Thomas, Nikki Yang, Maggie Yao, Ida Yilmaz, and Nithu Zachariah. Congratulations to these students on their hard work and dedication to research in psychological and brain science. Your certificates will be sent in email. The Morgan Award for Research Promise. Next, we would like to award 3 students this award for their research efforts. They were chosen to receive the Morgan Award for Research Promise, which is given to students who demonstrate the most promise in the area of experimental research in psychological and brain sciences. Molly Delzio. One of the Morgan Award for Research Promise recipients for our Psych and Brain Sciences major is Molly Dalzio. Molly has a 4.0 upper division GPA. That is extremely difficult to do. Molly has worked in 2 different labs during her time here at UCSB, Dr. Shelley Gable's EMBER lab and Dr. Erica Felix's lab in the Department of Counseling, Clinical, and School Psychology. Molly went on to do an honors thesis with Dr. Gable, and her thesis focused on the impact of adverse childhood experiences on relationship social motives. While conducting her thesis research in Dr. Gable's lab, Molly implemented a large-scale survey to examine whether adverse childhood experiences, known as ACEs in the literature, predicted avoidance of social groups and whether this was mediated by emotion processing skills. Molly's work is at the cutting edge of social psychology and has been recognized as such. She was a recipient of an undergraduate research and creative activities grant. That's IRCA for short. You'll be hearing about more of those as we go on. And will present her research at no less than 4 conferences, including 2 undergraduate research conferences, the Spartan Psychological Association Research Conference and the UCLA Undergraduate Research Conference. In addition, she would be presenting a poster at the prestigious Association for Psychological Science conference and has already given a talk at the Society for Effective Science conference. What's more, fun fact about Molly is that she loves to go on camping trips with her friends. Congratulations on this astounding achievement, Molly. The second Morgan Award for Research Promise is for a student in our biopsychology major, Justin Heyman. Justin maintains a 3.97 upper division psych GPA. That's also really hard to do, by the way. He has worked in Dr. Scamantis Janisonis's lab, where he built 3 transgenic mouse colonies from the initial breeders to the current sustainable line, as well as performing transcranial injections of viral vectors, otherwise known as animal surgeries. When asked about conducting his research in Dr. Janisonis's lab, Justin noted that I assisted Dr. Janisonis and one of his graduate students, Casey Mays, in a variety of research-oriented tasks to study the serotonergic system, allowing me to develop my passion for research and receive this award. According to Dr. Janisonis, Justin has been in charge of all operations, including breeding, culling, crossing, and all of these include major challenges: PCR genotyping, daily injections of a recombinase-inducing agent, which requires special handling. Justin was a recipient of an undergraduate research and creative activities award. He is also co-author of the poster presentation at the 2019 meeting of the Society for Neuroscience in Chicago, and has already been a co-author on a manuscript. Justin will be returning to UCSB in the fall as a PhD student in the neuroscience and behavior area, working with Dr. Janisonis to discover more information regarding the serotonergic system. Fun fact about Justin is that he is an avid rock climber and has been climbing for almost a decade. Isabel Schumann is our final recipient of the Morgan Award for Research Promise for a Psych and Brain Sciences major. She has a 4.0 upper division psych GPA, and her research is in Dr. Lapate's Affective Neuroscience Laboratory, aimed to experimentally investigate factors that predispose individuals to develop eating disorders with a focus on anorexia nervosa. When asked about conducting her research in Dr. Lapate's lab, Isabel noted that for the past year, I have been working alongside Dr. Lapate on an innovative study that aims to understand how individuals at risk for developing eating disorders process time and make decisions. This project has opened my eyes to the field of cognitive neuroscience research and how studies like this one can help identify risk factors for certain disorders and hopefully aid in prevention efforts. Isabel has pre-registered her highly innovative study. As Dr. Lapate notes in her nomination letter, throughout this unprecedented year, Isabel has blown me away with her scholarly talent, perspicaciousness, independence, and maturity. Special thanks to Regina for putting perspicaciousness in there for me. Isabel's future looks incredibly bright as she plans to start a full-time position at the Child and Family Institute, where she will gain some clinical experience before heading off to graduate school. Fun fact about Isabel, this is my favorite fun fact so far, is that her middle name is Plum. Congratulations, Isabel, and all the best on your future endeavors. Molly and Justin and Isabel will be receiving a certificate in recognition of their accomplishments in research, and each will receive a $500 Amazon gift card. Again, congratulations. The award for exceptional academic performance is given to students who have at least 36 upper division psychology units completed and who have earned a 3.9 GPA in the upper division major courses. This year, we have a superb total of 74 graduating seniors who have achieved exceptional academic performance. And these students include Alicia Agarwal, Taylor Albizati, Krishna Balagopal, Nick Barrett, Kelly Bishop, Samantha Blodgett, Mariana Shamu, Rika Chan, McKenna Chapman, Taylor Cook, Olivia Currier, Kushal Das, Merlin Dasanayaki, Molly Dalzio, Bailey Dow, Zoe Eddy, Jack Edmund, Nick Entrekin, Giselle Etesami, Jenny Gibson, Gina Goldschmidt, Nikita Gupta, Justin Heyman, Alyssa Heisen, Anita Huang, Grace Huang, Carly Hunter, Emily Jacobi, Justine Johnson-Yurchak, Megan Ju, Sarah Kaufman, Yoon Kim, Brianna Kimari, Alexis Comstead, Mariam Coriel, Spencer Krisingaika, Sky Lander, Nate Avoy, Emily Lay, Megan Lee, Ivana Lin, Chastity Liu, Catherine McLeod, Lauren Moss, Haley Nelson, Edwin Nguyen, Catalin Pang. Nandan Patel, Jessica Pazaranda, Sheena Pham, Kayla Platt, Violeta Quezada, Shay Ramirez, Elizabeth Ridna, Luisa Rosa, Dylan Riddell, Isabel Schumann, Nitsan Schwartz, Jolie Shah, Tori Sickmeyer, Carlos Sosa Colindres, Esther Svetov, Ashley Tajin, Alyssa Thomas, Katie Thompson, Veronica Varna, Heyu Wang, Kailea Wong, Jani Zhu, Albert Yang, Nikki Yang, Maggie Yao, Ida Yilmaz, and Chishosho Zhang. Congratulations to all of those students. Next, we have the Morgan Award for Academic Excellence. This is an award that goes to students in psychological and brain sciences and biopsychology in recognition of outstanding scholarship as selected by a faculty committee. The first Morgan Award for Academic Excellence goes to Grace Huang, who is a biopsychology major. Grace maintains a 3.97 upper division major GPA and has minors in both chemistry and in writing. Grace was nominated by 3 separate faculty members, Dr. Vanessa Woods, Dr. Zoe Lieberman, and Dr. Shelley Gable. Dr. Woods is Grace's advisor for the Society for Undergraduate Psychologists, aka SUP, in which she has been a member for the last 3 years. Grace has organized joint workshops with PsyChi and Access grads, focused on resumes and CVs, as well as graduate school information panels. She also mentors for the honors program, was a teaching assistant for general chemistry, and serves as a mentor to pre-medical biopsychology students. Dr. Woods notes, Grace's drive to mentor others is one of her unique talents. She has used it to promote the success of many students in her time here at UCSB. What's more, Grace was a research assistant in Dr. Gable's AMBER lab, as well as in Dr. Lieberman's lab. Speaking to Grace's research contributions, Dr. Lieberman claims, Grace excels in all of her roles. She is the perfect combination of responsible, bright, and conscientious. She is always the first person to respond to emails and shows incredible maturity. Grace has been a leader in the lab and has helped train other research assistants. Dr. Gable adds that Grace is accomplished in her coursework, research, mentoring, and service. On reflecting at her time at UCSB, Grace remembers when she ate at De La Guerra Dining Commons and how she would always substitute lemon juice for salad dressing. Zesty is what it sounds like to me. Congratulations, Grace. We know your future in teaching is bright. I see someone in the chat noted that she would eat a whole lemon. So it's not just the juice, it's the whole thing. Justine Johnson Yurchak is our next recipient of the award, the Morgan Award for Academic Excellence in our PBS major. Justine is graduating with a 4.0 in her upper division courses. She is nominated by Dr. Diane Mackey, her research faculty advisor, and Dr. Nicole Albada, her honors thesis advisor. Justine worked as an undergraduate research assistant in the Social Evaluations and Emotions Laboratory since fall 2018. That was her sophomore year. In addition, she worked on an honors thesis which examined the effects of positive affect, journaling, and its relation to emotional associations that students experience during their first month of the COVID-19 pandemic. According to Dr. Albada, this project was entirely Justine's idea. Justine developed the online Qualtrics survey for the project, wrote the human subjects protocol, and was completely in charge of collecting her own data. Justine was awarded an IRCA grant to support this research and presented the work at as a poster at the 2021 Western Psychological Association virtual conference. Justine is also a research assistant for the Santa Barbara Wellness Project, which promotes community wellness of young children, adolescents, and adults through workshops, website resources, and newsletters. On campus, Justine was a College of Letters and Science honors mentor and a student member of the Education Abroad Program Committee. Justine is a volunteer peer supporter for the local Lean On Me organization and an active member in our department's Psych-I and SUP organizations. Fun fact about Justine is that she completed 10 puzzles over quarantining. Talk about impressive focus. Congratulations, Justine. Luisa Rosa is our last recipient for the Morgan Award for Academic Excellence in our PBS major. Luisa is graduating with a 3.96 in our upper division courses. She was nominated by no less than 3 of our faculty members, Dr. David Sherman, for whom Luisa has been a research assistant, Dr. Vanessa Woods, who has worked with Luisa as part of the Society of Undergraduate Psychologists, and Dr. Alan Fridland, who is Luisa's honors thesis advisor. Dr. Sherman spoke about Luisa's time as a research assistant. He mentioned Luisa mentors more junior RAs in the laboratory, introduces them to the literature, and guides them in the research process. Dr. Woods adds that Luisa is a fantastic student, a diligent researcher, a competent and fair leader, and a talented artist. Luisa is not only a double major, but she has been involved in the Society of Undergraduate Psychologists for the last 2 years, where she serves her final year as the president of SUP. Luisa is passionate about clinical psychology, and she even set up a certificate program for SUP, where students receive training in psychological first aid. Moreover, Dr. Fridland is Luisa's honors thesis advisor, and he notes that her thesis examined depression and the divine, religious fate ascriptions, and depression risk. Dr. Fridland says, Luisa has been delightful to supervise. She is whip smart, resourceful, and analytical. Luisa obviously has many talents, one of which is that she learned how, apparently, to make some pretty awesome derby cars after working at a summer camp. We wish her all the best, and congratulations, Luisa. Grace, Justine, and Luisa will be receiving a certificate in recognition of their outstanding academic achievements, and each will receive a $500 Amazon gift card. Again, congratulations. Our next award is the Diversity and Inclusion Service Award. It's a brand new award for the PBS department. This award is given to a student who has demonstrated through their actions, leadership, or innovation an understanding of, an appreciation for, or advocacy of diversity issues and inclusive practices. It is a service award that recognizes students who have actively sought to increase their knowledge of or to raise awareness about current inclusion and diversity issues, and honors students who have given back to improve the quality of life for diverse communities. For the inaugural award in this category, the selection committee is recognizing 2 students. Chastity Liu was nominated for this award by one of her research supervisors, Dr. Diane Mackey, and by one of her instructors, Dr. Vanessa Woods. Chastity's record of giving back to her community is simply outstanding. She is particularly passionate about diversity and inclusion in the context of mental health initiatives. She has been involved with activities such as serving as a mental health peer for Asian American outreach, as a volunteer for Schools on Wheels to provide tutoring and lesson plans for homeless children. Chassidy's clinically oriented service activities support her goal of seeing all people as individuals. She volunteered at the Santa Barbara Response Network, providing compassionate care for those going through traumatic experiences, and with the Thriving Initiative, which is an organization that promotes healing for those of all identities dealing with trauma. In speaking about her work in the Thriving Initiative, Chassidy says, "It can be extremely vulnerable to seek help as a survivor of interpersonal violence, and I am glad I was able to facilitate a safe, warm, and compassionate place for these folks to heal." As Chassidy's nominators note, her involvement in these organizations have not been one-shot or quick affairs, but often reflect years of service during which her level of responsibility continues to increase. Chassidy will be continuing to pursue her passion for service for all as she begins a full-time research coordinator position for the Minna Center for Eating Disorder Research at the University of Minnesota. We hope the food there is as good as it is in Santa Barbara, because Chassidy is a self-proclaimed foodie and one of Santa Barbara's Yelp elites. Congratulations, Chassidy. We are inspired by your commitment to service in diverse communities. The second Diversity and Inclusion Service Award goes to Dylan Riddell. Dylan was nominated for this award by Dr. Vanessa Woods in our department and Dr. Mary Brenner, a colleague in education. They both knew Dylan from courses and jointly supervised Dylan's honors thesis project. In Dr. Brenner's course, Dylan was assigned to volunteer at the Isla Vista Teen Center, also known as the St. George's Youth Center, which serves youth in grades 6 to 12 in the mostly low-income Latino neighborhood near the university. As Dr. Brenner notes, Dylan quickly established ongoing mentoring relationships with some of the youth and sought his help for advanced courses and advice for attending college. Dylan's valuable contributions to the Teen Center was clear this past summer when he was one of the first volunteers called back to work with the youth center when the center was able to open again. In speaking about Dylan's passion for ensuring that his service is focused on diversity and inclusion, his nominator, Dr. Vanessa Woods, stated, "He speaks with such emotion and passion about social justice issues, you can't help but be taken by his passion. He is an ardent supporter of social justice with specific interest in incarcerated youth. Dylan's primary service-related work has involved volunteering at a local nonprofit organization called Freedom for Youth, which has a mission to uplift and empower youth to build safe and compassionate communities. At the local organization, Dylan helps with program evaluation and grant writing. His passion for social justice and research culminated in an honors thesis exploring the roles of ethnic studies courses in affecting minoritized youth's ideas about identity and how it affects college aspirations for these students. We are sure that Dylan will continue to make a social impact as he begins his graduate work at Trinity College Dublin in applied social research. The community there will be fortunate to have you." Chassidy and Dylan will be receiving a certificate in recognition of their outstanding scholarship, service to the communities, UCSB, and the PBS department. Each will also receive a $500 Amazon gift card. Again, congratulations. Distinguished Graduating Seniors. The last award that I will be presenting today, yes, we're nearly at the end, is the Distinguished Graduating Seniors Award. It is given in recognition of academic excellence, service to the department, the university, and the community. As such, these students spend their time at UCSB not only focusing on their studies and scholarship, but also finding ways to give back to the Psych and Brain Sciences department, the university more broadly. This is a sort of all-around, best all-around award. This year, the selection committee chose 3 students to receive this award. The first of these goes to Zoe Eddy. She is graduating UCSB with a 3.79 GPA in the PBS major and has minors in both anthropology and Black studies. She was nominated for this award by Dr. Brenda Major. Zoe started working in Dr. Major's Self and Social Identity Lab during her sophomore year on the recommendation of Dr. Woods, who gave her highest praise after having had Zoe as a student in her research methods course. Per Dr. Major, Zoe quickly became one of the most prized research assistants in the lab, excelling at everything we asked her to do. She distinguished herself by demonstrating a profound interest in the research process and by providing sophisticated suggestions for ways to improve study design. In addition to attending the highly competitive and prestigious UCLA Psychology Undergraduate Research Conference as part of her lab, Zoe also had the opportunity to conduct a series of 3 independent projects. Funded by IRCA grants, Zoe led research investigating how genetic information depicting the racial makeup of an individual influence the perceptions of someone claiming a mismatched racial identity. Dr. Major expects these studies to be published in first-tier psychological research journals. As an icing on the cake, Zoe completed her PBS honors project exploring multiracial individuals' sense of belonging in ethnically based racial clubs, which was also funded by IRCA grants. In addition to all these accolades and experiences that Zoe gained as a PBS researcher, she was also a part of UCSB's McNair Scholar Research Program. There, she not only wrote a research review paper, but gave oral poster presentations on her review paper's research. Her work was then selected for presentation at the 2020 annual convention of the Society for Personality and Social Psychology, which is social psychology's major professional society, under a diversity undergraduate award. Lastly, there's a lot. Zoe was also accepted into Rutgers University's Research Intensive Summer Experience, or RISE, where she gained first-hand experience working with prominent scholars in the domain of multiracial identity. As part of RISE, she co-authored a paper examining how parents of multiracial children teach their children about race and multiracial identity. This paper was published last year in the journal Policy Insights from the Behavioral and Brain Sciences, and Zoe was selected to present this work at the 2021 Society of Personality and Social Psychology Convention. Dr. Major notes that she believes Zoe is the first undergraduate student who she has supervised that has attended 2 national conventions, a truly marvelous feat. Zoe's commitment to service to PBS, UCSB, and her communities is also evident outside of research. In addition to taking part in PBS's honors program, she is also a member of the UCSB Letters and Science honors program. She served as the co-chair of the Student-Initiated Recruitment and Retention Outreach Program, was a tutor at a local Santa Barbara high school, and was an elected official for UCSB's Associated Students organization. As her nominator, Dr. Major notes, Zoe has a number of qualities that illustrate great promise as a researcher. She consistently challenges herself to think through the meaning and implications of the research she's working on and asks very thoughtful questions, demonstrates an ability to foresee potential logistical challenges. She often goes above and beyond the goals set for her and demonstrates a desire to learn as much as possible about the way that research is conducted. Perhaps the secret to her success lies with Disney movies, as she notes that she loves them as a little fun fact. After graduation, Zoe will be pursuing a PhD in social psychology at Rutgers University. She'll be working in the Close Relationships, Identity, and Stigma Laboratory with Dr. Diana Sanchez. Congratulations, Zoe. The second Distinguished Graduating Senior Award goes to Emily Lay. She is graduating UCSB with a 3.97 in the PBS major, with a second major in communication and a minor in educational studies. She was nominated for this award by Dr. Shelley Gable. They met when Emily undertook her PBS honors thesis under the faculty's supervision of Dr. Gable, with whom she worked closely alongside PBS graduate student Elisa Bedroff. Prior to working with Dr. Gable, Emily worked in Dr. Nancy Collins's lab since 2019 and continued to do so while also working on her thesis. For her honors project under the Gable lab, Emily examined interpersonal emotion regulation. More specifically, she studied whether the level of diversity of people's emotion regulation networks had an association with their well-being by conducting a daily experience longitudinal study. For Dr. Gable, recruiting and maintaining participants for a study like this is incredibly difficult and tedious. However, Emily managed to maintain 193 participants and thus gather a ton of data. To Dr. Gable, Emily's thesis attests to promise as a researcher and scholar. She possesses both the tangible and intangible skills needed to conduct research. Specifically, she has a strong organizational skill, good problem-solving skill, and an acute attention to detail. In addition, Dr. Gable acknowledges that Emily has already been functioning at the level of a graduate student and is confident that her thesis work will produce first author publications. In addition to her academic excellence and research accolades, Emily took on various campus activities, service positions, and leadership roles. One included her position as the social chair of the Cotillion Dance Club on campus. As a matter of fact, Emily competed in several collegiate ballroom and dance competitions. She also tutored students in Isla Vista Elementary, assisting them in language, arts, and math, was a member of the College of Letters and Science Honors Program, and was a note taker for the UCSB Disabled Students Program. Lastly, Emily, alongside a group of her friends, is launching a nonprofit to raise awareness about invisible disabilities, i.e. dysautonomia, and raise funds for organizations that support individuals with these disabilities. As for her service in the department, Emily has quite the track record as well. She served as the co-chair of UCSB's chapter of PsyChi, the International Honor Society in Psychology, this past year. One of her greatest accomplishments as co-chair was her ability, along with her colleagues, to increase chapter membership. As an example, during the fall and winter of last year, the UCSB chapter saw 49 new members. This year, during the same time frame, the chapter saw 73 new members. Dr. Nicole Albada, who is the UCSB chapter's faculty advisor, saw Emily work tirelessly and praises her efforts. Another highlight as the co-chair involved her proactively assisting a member in having their membership fee waived due to COVID financial hardships. She successfully helped this student and obtained for them a waived membership fee. We are certain that they are appreciative of her efforts. Last but certainly not least, Emily managed to effectively deliver many presentations and provide many resources to our students to assist them with their academia and general well-being during a rather turbulent and uncertain past year, even if through online formats. To cap off her services to our students, Dr. Albada notes that Emily's leadership skills are impressive, and she constantly motivates others to excel and contribute, doing it in such a kind and compassionate way, and always with a smile. After graduation, Emily plans to take a gap year before applying to PhD programs in social psychology. We are sure she will impress many programs when she applies. Congratulations, Emily. The final winner of the Distinguished Graduating Senior Award is Maggie Yao. She is graduating from UCSB with a 3.79 in the PBS major and minors with minors in applied psychology and educational studies. She was nominated for this award by Dr. Nancy Collins. She and Dr. Collins met when Maggie became a research assistant in the Collins lab. Her experience in the Close Relationships Lab culminated in Dr. Collins supervising Maggie on her PBS honors thesis this past year. Dr. Collins says, Maggie has shown clear evidence of research promise throughout her work as a research assistant in my lab and while conducting her independent honors thesis. When Maggie first responded to our call for research assistants, her impressive academic record stood out immediately. Upon interviewing her in person, my graduate students and I quickly discovered that she exhibited a passion, humility, and level of professionalism that was far above what we typically see in our undergraduate students. Maggie also served as a research assistant for the Dr. Chunyun Yang in her Risk, Resilience, and Culture Lab at UC Berkeley. These research experiences involving the study of close relationships and cultural psychology inspired Maggie to pursue her honors thesis. She decided to investigate the impact of cultural identity on support-seeking behaviors among East Asian Americans. Dr. Collins firmly believes that Maggie's thesis has the potential to make a great contribution to the current literature on social support and cultural psychology. Maggie is impressed with her thesis innovation, organization, and execution. To support this work, she applied for and was granted IRCA funding. She also submitted her work for presentation at 2 prestigious research conferences, the San Jose State University's Spartan Psychological Association Research Conference and UCLA's Undergraduate Research Conference, which highlights her motivation, passion, and promise for research. On top of her impressive research accomplishments, Maggie has also been tremendously involved on campus. Maggie believes one of her biggest successes was her ability to fundraise $100,000 from charitable donations. Yes, you heard that right, $100,000. That was as part of UCSB's annual fund that directly contributed for free student resources. She feels truly privileged and honored to have been a part of this great service to our campus. She also served as a volunteer for Lean On Me, which is a campus peer-to-peer support hotline, and Food Not Bombs, an organization that focuses on recovering unsold food from local merchants and distributes it to people in need. In addition, for the past 3 years, Maggie volunteered for the Isla Vista Trading Post as its vice president and fashion committee director. She worked to promote the intersection between the community, the environment, and sustainable fashion through clothing swaps and other events that support the Isla Vista community. Last, and again, certainly not least, Maggie was also a mental health advocate and co-intern for Acacia Counseling and Wellness, where she not only recruited, trained, and managed groups of interns, but also facilitated outreach to diverse student populations, raised funds to support mental health services for students who didn't have financial resources, and created programs to break down stigma-related barriers to seeking mental health treatment. On behalf of the PBS department, we want to extend our greatest gratitude to Maggie for all her contributions to student well-being and success. We are sure she has left a huge legacy that many students will benefit from, even after she graduates. Her nominator, Dr. Collins, notes, Maggie is a truly lovely young woman and a joy to work with. She is mature, cooperative, professional, and goal-oriented. She is warm, friendly, and enthusiastic about everything she does. She is quick with a laugh and a smile and grateful for the opportunities afforded to her. She works extremely hard and never expects anything simply to fall in her lap. She's full of positive energy and ambitious in all the best ways. She is passionate about pursuing her educational goals while also making the world a better place. After graduation, Maggie plans to move back up to the Bay Area and take 1 to 2 gap years to obtain further clinical and research experience before pursuing a PhD in clinical psychology. Congratulations, Maggie. Zoe, Emily, and Maggie will be receiving a certificate in recognition of their outstanding scholarship service to the communities, UCSB, and the PBS department. Each will also receive a $500 gift card. Once again, congratulations to you and all of our award winners. I will now turn it back over to Professor Michael Miller, who is the Chair of Psychological and Brain Sciences. Take it away, Mike.
Thank you, Tamsin. Before closing, I want to recognize 2 of our PBS students who also won the University Award of Distinction. These are given to students who have contributed greatly to the quality of life by giving unselfish service to others within a particular area. It includes Dylan Riddell. His majors in psychological and brain sciences with a minor in poverty, inequality, and social justice. And Nikki Sanjanjeo, also a major in BS psychological and brain sciences with a minor in educational studies. We're so proud of how you've represented our department at the university level. Congratulations. So I'd like to thank Professor German for emceeing this event. Also, I'd like to thank Professor Nicole Abada and our undergraduate advisors, Amanda Reeves and Joaquin Emiliano Chavez. along with Professor Vanessa Woods and our student affairs manager, Chris McFerrin. They've really done an amazing job pulling this together. This has been a challenging year, and they really rose to the occasion to make sure that this event took place. To all of you students, as you embark on the next stage of your life, please keep in touch. We love to hear from you, to know how things are going and what you're doing next. And I just want to say, now that you're alumni, alumni in this department are very important to us. And I'm just going to make a quick pitch. We actually have one of our outstanding alumni in attendance today, and that's Steve Foote. Hi, Steve. So Steve got his BA degree from our department in 1967, and then went on and got his PhD at MIT in 1972, and had a very distinguished research career, which included a very important position as Director of Neurosciences and Behavioral Sciences at the National Institute of Mental Health. Anyway, Steve, just recently, in the past few years, has been one of the co-founders of our new Alumni Council. And this is a very important mechanism for us. It's our department greatly depends on donations from our alumni in order to sort of enhance the educational experience of our undergraduate students. It's a really important mission for us. And fortunately, we just have an amazing group of alumni, of which you are now a part of. So, when you make your first million, hopefully you'll think of us. But if you're interested in any time in the future of donating time or money toward the department to help current students and their educational experience, get a hold of us. There's some links on our website, or get a hold of Steve, and Steve will definitely get you involved. But anyway, I guess the real message is, please don't forget us. We won't forget you. So congratulations again on your wonderful achievement, and thank you for attending.